Can't decide which Shopify theme is the best for you? Well, here's how to choose the best Shopify theme for your brand. Today I'm going to walk you through a bunch of the different key heuristics that I use when choosing a different Shopify theme for one of our clients at Ecomm Evolution. Because in reality, there is no single best Shopify theme. There's just the best Shopify theme for your brand. So what is a Shopify theme? What do we mean when we're saying theme versus store versus front end versus back end? There's lots of different terms that often mean the same thing. So let's just clarify that very quickly. When you talk about Shopify, there are two main components to Shopify that you experience as a merchant. You have the front end and you have the back end. So the back end is where you manage all of your different orders. You can see your customers, your different products, your collections, your discounts, all of that sort of stuff that the customers never see. And then you have the front end, right? This is also potentially called your website, your theme. There's lots of different names for this term, but this is what the customers are actually seeing. So when they go to yourdomain.com, so www.yourbrand.com, whether they go on their mobile device, their desktop device, or their tablet device, they're landing on your website or your theme. So everything that they can see and interact with, that is what is called theme. And so for the rest of this video, we are just going to refer to this term, whether it's front end, website, theme, we're going to use the term theme. So just know that those are interchangeable terms, but for the simplicity of this video, we're just going to use the word theme. So why is it so important to have a theme or place emphasis or actually put effort into choosing a theme? Why not just choose any old random theme, slap it up there and start selling? Well, in terms of e-commerce, which I'm assuming you have a main channel through e-commerce, so you're selling things online. E meaning electronic, commerce meaning to sell or to make a transaction. You could compare that to traditional retail where you have a physical store and a customer walks into your store and they buy something from your physical store, right? With e-commerce, we have that all online. So our customers are coming generally from a traffic source, which is Google or Facebook, and they're going to our theme, right? And so our theme is essentially replacing our physical retail store. Before the internet was around, that was all we had. And our theme is doing a couple different jobs. So it's doing customer service jobs, like you can place a support ticket or request a return or find opening hours, find contact information. But our theme also and primarily does the role of a salesperson. So its job is to have, for example, a landing page where it converts potential customers or traffic into actual paying customers. And that's the core of our business as an e-commerce business. And that is why our theme is extremely important, because its primary job is to convert customers. If we can have just a slight increase in conversion rate or the ability to turn traffic into actual customers, then we can have a massive impact on our revenue because of that. So it's worth actually putting in a lot of effort and paying money to get a premium theme, because any small increase in conversion rate or say average order value is going to have a long-term effect with the amount of traffic that comes. And especially if you're spending a lot of money on advertising, you want to make the most out of that traffic that's coming to your site. So that is why a theme is very important, and we're going to cover exactly what to choose to make a good theme decision in the rest of this video. Now, a couple other benefits of our theme over a real salesperson is that they work 24/7, 365 days a year. So our theme or our online store can be open at 1 a.m. and our customers can come and shop. It can also handle a huge volume of customers. So we can have 100,000 people on our site at one time, all checking out, all doing different things. Whereas if you were to do that in person, you would need a lot of customers, a lot of retail space. So it has efficiency because it's open a long time, it's open a lot more hours, and it can also handle a lot more volume. But what you'll find in terms of theme versus physical salesperson is they're a lot less effective, right? The selling isn't tailored to the particular person and their needs, and therefore you'll see conversion rates, generally for e-commerce between 1 to 2 up to 10% is generally what you want to look for. Compare that to in-store sales. I don't know what the exact numbers are, but in-store salesperson is going to be a lot higher in being able to convert those customers. So we have really good efficiency with our online theme, but we lose some of that effectiveness to convert visitors at a higher percentage, but also to capitalize on higher lifetime value. So doing upsells, making our customers spend more, worth more, and actually delivering a better solution for them. So when choosing a theme, especially for the product page, we want to make sure we get as much effectiveness out of that page as we can and get as many of those attributes from that live salesperson into the online theme. So how do we get our theme to be as effective as possible and also to represent our brand in a way that we're happy with, so that it looks and it's congruent to the rest of our brand, the feel, the aesthetic that we want. So it's building a brand image in a way that we as business owners and brand owners are actually happy with. Because we might have a theme that converts really well and makes a lot of sales, but we're just not happy with the values and the aesthetic that it's communicating. Arguably sales are more important because that's what's putting money in your bank account, but you still want to have a balance between something you're happy with as a brand owner, something you can be proud of, and something that also converts sales as well. So the first thing to understand is that you're never going to be able to buy a perfect theme out of the box. Fortunately, you can pretty much customize your theme to be exactly what you want it to be. Now, if you take one end of the scale, you could custom build an entire theme. Hundreds of thousands of dollars in development costs. You could build your exact theme, the exact way you want it, all from scratch. Big brands like Allbirds do this. Nike, I'm not sure if they're on Shopify, but if they were on Shopify, they would do this. Gymshark's on Shopify, and so they probably have a custom store as well. But unless you have hundreds of thousands of dollars to spend on developers and designers to build your custom site, buying a theme out of the box and then customizing it a little bit to get it pretty much perfect is going to be your best, most cost-effective option. So the two ways that you generally customize your theme is going to be one with apps from the Shopify App Store, and then two with custom code. The benefit to apps is they're generally low cost. They allow you to do customization in terms of look, but also functionality, like having a post-purchase upsell or improving other elements on your website. The downside to them is they usually have a recurring cost, so they charge you every single month, and they also have limited functionality. I mean, they extend your theme's basic functionality, but they're obviously limited to whatever the app developer has decided should be inside the app. And the other thing, perhaps more importantly, is the speed. You are loading a lot of these external third-party apps into your theme, and the more and more apps that you add, the slower and slower the store is going to get, which is also going to affect your conversion rate. So you just need to keep that in mind. The other way that you can customize your theme is with custom code. This generally has a much higher upfront development cost. It might cost you a couple $1,000s to get the same basic functionality as what a $50 a month app would cost you. But the benefits to that are going to be that you don't have an ongoing cost, or generally, unless you want updates. And then also it's going to do exactly what you want it to do, as long as you've chosen a good developer and you've told them exactly what you want. And then also there is going to be a much better improvement in the speed, because that app is going to do exactly what you want it to do and just that. Plus it's also going to be built into your theme and more optimized towards speed as opposed to an app. So we understand that we cannot find a perfect theme. There's no such thing as a perfect theme, but we can get our theme to be pretty much perfect with the use of apps and customization through code, if that's not included in the default settings that our theme has. However, we want to get 90% or as far as we can with the default theme. So if we can find a theme that meets pretty much all of our needs, and then we can customize it the last 10% of the way, that is exactly what we want to do, because that is going to save us time and also save us money. So how do we choose a theme that gets us pretty much all the way there, and then we can build on that from there? Now, the first thing most people look at, or a few things that I've seen online, people talking about, is price. I actually don't think price is a big concern, or shouldn't be a big concern. Maybe if you're just getting started out, then price is something to consider, but most theme prices will range from the free side to about $500. Now, if you consider that our theme is replacing a salesperson and it has a multiplicative effect on the traffic that we send to it, so a more effective theme is going to then make every other dollar we spend on advertising more efficient. We don't want to skimp on spending on the theme, okay? So we just want to get a theme that gets us as close as we can to what we really want, and then we want to customize it the rest of the way. But spending $500 on a theme in the big picture of things is not a big deal. So if you can't afford to do that, you're probably lacking in some other business area, and yeah, the theme is not something you want to skimp on, really. Okay, so the first thing is buy a theme that is from the Shopify store. This is the best way to choose where to get your theme from. You can get a lot of third-party themes from different other sites. One that comes to mind is Out of the Sandbox, but I've used a few third-party themes. You can download the code and you can manually upload it. And yeah, I would not recommend going down that path. Sometimes you can think that you get a really, really cool theme with all this different functionality. You install it, you start using it for a little while, you invest a lot of time into building it how you want, and then you just find that the way that it's been written or something is just weird with it, and now you're kind of stuck. You've invested all this time, this money, and now you've got a theme that is perhaps not supported or is buggy in some way. So I would say, especially for your first or second theme, go with themes from the Shopify store only, or from one of the reputable third-party brands like Out of the Sandbox. Now this is for a couple of reasons. One, all of the themes on the Shopify store have been vetted by Shopify themselves. So they've checked over the theme, they've made sure that their code in that theme is written in a way that's acceptable with their team. Plus also it's got best practices, and they also have like a minimum standard of quality that Shopify themselves are holding these theme designers to. So by buying a theme from the theme store, you are knowing that you're getting a good quality theme and you're not going to have any issues. And if you do have issues, you are able to go to Shopify and complain to them. Whereas with the third party, someone random, you might buy a theme that has a bunch of issues and now you've spent $400 but you got no recall, right? The other thing is for updates. Future updates, Shopify is going to make sure and enforce certain regulations around the themes that make sure that you get updates for free and your theme is staying up to date with the rest of the industry and the current trends that are happening, like security, for example. So along that theme, the other thing you want to check for is making sure that your theme is compatible or built on Online Store 2.0. This is the latest architecture that came out a year or so ago that Shopify has enforced. It allows you to do a lot more functionality around designing different pages just straight out of the box, and it also gives you better speed. So if you buy a theme from the Shopify theme store, you are going to have a Shopify 2.0 store because that's one of the rules that Shopify enforces. If you buy a third-party store, you just want to check that that is a Shopify 2.0 store, and you can look up how to decipher that, whether it is or isn't on the internet. The next thing you want to consider is trying before you buy. Pretty much all the themes from the Shopify theme store at least have an option to view the demo store and then also to install your theme, play around with it, customize it a little bit, and then only pay when you launch the theme. So you definitely want to make sure and actually compare a few different themes in the back end with your products by customizing it before you pay any money. The next thing to consider and keep in mind during this process of choosing your theme is how many SKUs you have. Do you have 10 products? Do you have 10,000 products? This is going to be one of the main factors when looking at collection pages, menu structure, different sections for the homepage that you just want to keep in mind so that you can find the theme that works best for you, because a theme that supports, say, 10 product range is not going to be the same theme as one that supports 10,000 products and needs a lot more navigation and ability to sort, display collections, and so on. The next thing you want to consider when going through this process is that you are looking at it in mobile. So a lot of these themes default to desktop, and generally when we're working on our computers, we are looking at things in desktop. But if you look at your Google Analytics, look at your Shopify Analytics, you will most likely find that 80% of your traffic is coming from mobile. So we want to make sure that we're looking from the customer's perspective when evaluating these different themes, making sure that we are looking at it on mobile as well as desktop, but primarily mobile, because that is the experience that our customers are going to be having. And the last thing before we jump into all the different elements that I look for is the overall style. So like I said before, we want a theme that is congruent with our brand and that we're happy with the look of and that we feel represents our brand, right? So you want to be looking at the overall theme. This is the way that it's styled. Do we think that that can be customized to our brand? One thing to keep in mind is that a lot of what makes a theme is the content. So this will be the written content and also the visual content, so the images and the video. A lot of our demo themes and our preview themes will have really, really nice photography, but some stock standard text and copywriting in there. So we just want to keep that in mind when evaluating the theme. Try and ignore the images and the copy and just look at the structure, the layout, the functionality of the theme, because it's going to change when we put our own product images in there. It's going to change the entire look and feel of the theme. So just keep that in mind, because you might think, oh wow, this theme is so amazing, let me buy it. You pay for it, you install it, and then you put your images in there that perhaps aren't as good, and now you're let down. You're like, oh, why does it look like the demo version? Well, it's because the content, which makes up the majority of the theme, is completely different. So number one, keep that in mind when previewing your demo stores. But number two, like I mentioned just before, make sure that you're installing and trying these themes with your content before you actually buy them. Okay, now that I've rambled on about all the different things to consider when choosing a theme and the reason why you shouldn't consider price too much and why a theme is important, let's actually dive into the key things that I actually look for when choosing a theme for one of our clients. I'm going to hop onto the website and I'm going to take you through my process. So the first thing I'm going to do is just come to Shopify theme store, so themes.shopify.com, and we're going to explore through the themes. So as you can see on the left hand side, there are a bunch of different tick boxes that you can put. And the first thing I would say, like I mentioned before, is come to the catalog size and select catalogs that are your sort of product size. So if you've only got a couple of products, you can select 1 to 9. If you've got a heap of products, you select 200 plus. And what that's going to do is make sure that the filtering options, the collection pages, the menu structure is designed around handling a large number of products so that your customers can easily sort through the volume of products that you have, right? After that, we can have a look at here. We've got free or paid options. Like I said, don't worry about that too much because you want to invest in a theme that does what it needs to do for you and not worry about the price. The next thing you can do is select your industry. And this kind of works. I mean, it's a little bit helpful in terms of having content that is relatable to your industry. Like for example, you can see here, this taste theme is obviously in like a beverage type, whereas this craft theme is more like a home decor. And what that's really doing is just replacing the default content with content that's relevant to your industry. So it doesn't really matter, like you can use this filter to select and see what it would look like with your theme. But if you think one might work that isn't in your industry, you're better off to go with functionality that works for you or something that works for an overall design and then replace the content. So after that, here is the most important thing, features. So if you need particular features here, like an age verifier if you're selling alcohol or something like that, or you want a mega menu, which can be really good if you've got a lot of products, then that is what you want to tick there. And just making sure that your theme has that functionality that you need for your particular brand. But apart from that, I would generally start by selecting my catalog size. So let's say I had a bunch of products, 200 plus products, and then I would go, okay, I want a mega menu. I know that I want, I know that I want a store locator. I know that I want a sticky header. I know that I want a stock counter, and I know that I want breadcrumbs, and a before and after image slider. So I'd select my minimums of what I wanted there. As you can see, there's no free themes. And then I would start scrolling through and looking for themes that kind of represent the look and feel that I'm going for. It's really hard to tell without going into them here, but I would just start narrowing down the list and I'll open them up in a new tab. So right click, click over the name, open link in new tab, and I would just start opening themes like this, scrolling through, finding ones that I think might work, and once I've opened a few, I'll then go through and start culling them down. So one of the things I want to look for, and the first thing on my list, is speed. We want to make sure that our theme is decently fast out of the box. We're going to be adding apps, we're going to be changing our content, we're going to be doing a bunch of things that affect the speed, but we want to make sure that our theme is as fast as possible. Two themes being equal, the faster one is going to be better because the time it takes for you to load your page, especially product pages, are going to determine whether your customers stay or not. If your customer clicks on an ad, for example, and now they're waiting for your page to load, and it takes too long, they're just going to leave, right? So you're paying for that. You want to make sure you're getting that conversion rate with a fast theme. So the first way we're going to quickly check the theme speed is click the View Demo Store. This is going to load a preview of what our theme could look like, and then we're going to right click, find the Inspect, hit that, and then we're going to hit this little side arrow if you can't see the Lighthouse option. Click Lighthouse, and then we're going to analyze the page load. Just going to wait for this to do its thing. So once that has run its thing, you're going to see on the right hand side performance score, and that's what you want to look at, 73. And we just want to take this as a comparative score, and as we're looking through our different themes, we just want to run the same thing and see if there's a big difference between the two. This is not the end all be all, and it's not an accurate representation of how fast your theme is going to be once all your content is in there, once you have your own apps and a whole bunch of other stuff. And theme speed is a topic for another day. But anyway, that's the first thing I would consider, is the theme speed of these different themes. And then making sure also that we're viewing it in mobile. So the way we want to do that is, well, they actually have this handy demo mobile switcher thing. So we can just click that button, or we can right click, hit inspect, and then we have this little toggle button up here which toggles between our desktop and mobile view. So we can do that. And we can then scroll around and see how the theme looks on mobile and desktop. So the next thing we want to look at is the different most important pages on our theme. So the most important page arguably is the home page and the product page. So this is the home page here. We just want to look at how does this look, how does the feel go, what sort of sections are available, do we like this for our theme, do we think it has the potential to be able to support the content that we have. Scrolling through here, we got a few different section options. We got some nice effects. Okay, not too bad. So we want to be comparing home pages. We're going to view demo store on all these other options. Going to mobile, scrolling through again, and saying, okay, which one do we like better? Next, we're going to look at product page. So we just find a product and click on it. And we want to see how the product page is laid out, because generally when you're running traffic from ads or from, say, Google product listings, your traffic is going to be coming straight to this page. So they might skip your home page and come directly to the product page. So it's very important. So we're looking at like the image scroller, we're looking at how the add to cart button and the different options here look, looking at how the descriptions work, whether it's got this pairs well with section, which is quite cool. The different sections down the bottom that we can use to sell our products, a recommended products section. So we're just looking at the overall functionality and we're comparing that between two different themes, right? So you can see here that this is way different. They have a much bigger banner section there, and the way that they lay their products out is also different. So we want to find one that we think looks best and works best for us. So after we've compared the product page and home pages, which is the most important pages, we want to look at the menu functionality. And again, we want to be looking at the menu functionality through not only desktop but also mobile. So especially on mobile, we're going to click this and see, okay, well, how's the menu laid out? It's pretty simple, pretty plain. Compare it to this one. Scroll to the top, menu. See, this is a bit different, right? So this is drop downs, plus this has this little extra section to have a promotion there. So we're just comparing these two, and this is just a preliminary comparison, right? So all you're wanting to do is open a bunch of different themes in your tabs and preview some themes and get rid of ones that you don't like. So this is a little bit weird, like the way that this is interacting there. So I might be like, nah, don't like that theme anymore, get rid of that. I'm going to replace it with this one. And we're essentially going through these different levels or different rounds of comparison and analysis. So the first is just using the Shopify theme store, clicking the view demo, doing the speed test, having a look at the home page, the product page on mobile and desktop, and now we're looking at the menu. And then once we've gone through this process and ruled out a bunch of themes that we don't want, we might have, say, 3 to 5 themes that we're considering as potential. And once we get there, then we'll go through a more in-depth analysis process, which I'll show you in just a sec. So we'll be looking at the mobile version of this and go, okay, cool, that's quite a cool, that menu's a little bit different. It's got customer support, it's got these buttons here for social, whereas this one does not. Oh, it does have the social, but it doesn't have the customer support stuff. And it's got a little sale tag. What do we got? Yeah, that's quite cool, so we're considering that. So once we've had a look at the menu, now we want to have a look at the collection page, especially if you have lots of different SKUs. So we're already on a collection page there, but let's load up a collection page on this as well. And a collection page is essentially just a bunch of different products displayed at once. So there might be jackets or dresses or whatever, as opposed to a product page, which is just one product. So this is the collection page for this, and then one for this theme. So they're definitely different looks. This one looks like a comparison option. So we can add different options there and compare them somehow. I don't know how that works exactly, but the other cool thing or core thing on collection pages is your filtering options. So if you've got a bunch of different products, how are your customers able to filter down by them? Shopify has actually done a lot with this with one of their apps, their native apps that they have for free, which allows you to add a lot of filtering, so you probably don't need to worry about that too much. But we're just looking at the overall collection, how the products look on here, that sort of thing, and comparing that to this. So you can definitely see it's a lot cleaner on this theme. It's definitely a lot more sort of fashion style, very simple, but it doesn't have any sort of quick add to cart button or anything like that, whereas this one did. So a couple of different things to consider there. Where are we going? Yeah, for example, these have these add to bag, so you can add them instantly, and just different style overall. After we've looked at the collection page, we want to look at another important page, which is our cart page. Now, we can't change the checkout unless you have Shopify Plus, so we're not going to worry about that. We're just going to worry about the cart. So when you hit add to cart, how does this look? Right? So you've got this free shipping threshold. You've also got a potential upsell here. You can add notes, the type of cart as well. This is a slide out cart as compared to like sometimes a full page cart. Like if you go view cart here, it probably takes you to the full page. So yeah, there's a full page option. And we compare that to this one. Go to a product, add to cart, boom. So very different. This looks a lot more limited in terms of the cart, but it is a bit cleaner as well. So you may want to toss up between those two different options. After the cart, you want to look at the different reviews that it has. So once you've narrowed down a few different theme options, you want to come to the theme page. You want to click reviews and just have a look at some of the reviews that are available for the different themes. So if the themes both look about the same, but one has better reviews than the other, obviously we can assume that that one might be better. And that is essentially what I do for round one of analysis. I'll go through all of those different pages. I'm not looking through every single entire page on the store. I'm just looking at the most important pages. So those are the home page, the product page, the menu section, the collection page, and the cart page. Right? You've got a bunch of other pages that you can have, like the contact us, all these other things. But I'm just looking at the most key pages, analyzing those, because I know that I can very easily customize these other pages. If I have a theme that is 99% the way I want it, but the contact page or the FAQ page is not what I want, I'm going to get that theme and I'm just going to change that one thing. I'm not going to get an entirely different theme just so I have a nice contact page when all the other things are not what I want them to be, right? So keep that in mind. It's 80-20, 20% of the effort to produce 80% of the results. And these pages, the product page, the home page, the menu section, the cart, these are the small amount of pages that are providing the 80% of results. So keep that in mind. Now, once I have found a few different themes that I like, I am going to find between 3 and 5 themes that I like. I'm going to try the theme. So I'm going to come back to this option and I'm going to hit try theme. And once you hit try theme, it's going to ask you which theme you would like to select it to, or which Shopify store. You should only have one unless you're mucking around with other stores. But if you only have one, just click that theme, click that store that you want it to go to, and then it's going to load it into your theme section on the back end of Shopify. So once that has loaded, I'm going to see this theme trial under my online store theme section and under my current published theme. Now I'm going to add my 3 to 5 themes that I've chosen, and I'm going to come in here, I'm going to hit customize. And what you'll see is you've now got a theme that looks totally different to the preview theme that you were just looking at, right? The demo. And that's because all the content is different. This is now using your content that you have on your theme. So it's now synced up to your products. This is my demo account, so I don't have any products in here, but you'd be able to see your products generally popping up and your images and whatnot. So don't be surprised if it looks totally different to the default theme. It's because the content's different. So now I'm going to be repeating the process of what I just did in the demo, but I'm going to be doing it in the try the actual theme section. So what I'm going to do is go to the home page. I'm going to look at the home page, and I'm also going to look at the different section options that are available here. So I'm going to add sections. I'm going to be like, okay, what might I want on my theme? I'm definitely going to want a collection list, so I'll add one of those. And then I'm going to see what options are available here on the right hand side. Because with our theme, all of these sections that we can add are developed by the particular theme developer. So some themes have way more theme or section functionality than other themes. You can always add custom stuff, but if you can get that straight out of the box, it's going to save you a lot of time and money. So I would be going through looking at my different sections, hooking them up to my collections that I already have, playing around with different options, seeing if I can get it the way I want it to look, seeing if it has the functionality that I want. And the thing with Shopify 2.0 is now all of these sections are going to be available on every single different page pretty much. So I can add a section here, which is a collection section, but I can also then come up to the top, select a different page, go to my product page, and these are one of the core pages that we want to be looking at. And I can also add that same section, so I'll be able to find a collection list, which is going to be the same section, the same options as what it was on the homepage. And that is one of the benefits of Shopify 2.0, is now that you have these sections available everywhere on your entire theme, whereas with Shopify 1.0, they were only available on the homepage. So again, I just want to go through all my different most important pages, the homepage, the product page. I want to come up to the top, I want to look at the header, look at the menu options, see what's available in there, see where I'm happy with the customization. And then I also want to go to the cart page. Where is that? Here we go. I want to be looking at the cart, what are the different options there. I also want to be using this little button and checking them all on mobile as well. So do they look good on desktop, but are they more importantly looking good on mobile? And once I've done that with a couple of different options, checking the functionality, I would then choose between those 3 to 5 themes that I have that I've installed, and I've added my own content to them. I would probably go and fill out maybe 3 of them in total. So add all the different content and products and actually spend a couple of hours on each one and getting it to look pretty much the way I want it to look. Another important thing that you can do before choosing a theme is write down a list of all the things you want it to do. Now this kind of only works if you've had a Shopify theme before and you've thought, yeah, this theme doesn't really do what I want it to do, or it'd be nice if I could have it to do this, and so on. So this video is kind of just designed to get you thinking about some different things and different pages that you want to look at when considering a theme. So yeah, once you've done that and I've installed the different themes, gone through, added all my different content, from then and only then would I choose exactly what theme I want to use. And that is how I choose the different Shopify themes for our clients at Ecomm Evolution. If you have any questions, just pop them down in the comment section below. I know there is a lot to go over with different themes, all the different sections and functionality that you have. If you can, just err on the side of more functionality and go for that, because a lot of the things you won't know that you want them until you've seen someone do it somewhere or whatever. But it's really good to just consider these different most important pages, keep that in mind, looking at it from mobile, finding one that gets you as far as you can, and then customizing it where need be. But again, if you have any questions, just put them down below. I'll answer them. I can help you and talk to you about different sections that you want to include in your theme. But apart from that, if you like this video, put a thumbs up on the video. If you didn't like it, also leave a comment. Let us know what we could do to improve it next time. And then hit that subscribe button if you want to see more videos about marketing strategy, Shopify landing page stuff, and Facebook ads, because we'll be posting each and every single week. And you just hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out. See you next time.